A very good morning to you. Welcome into the programme with you right through until 11:30 today. Now, I have two people with me from the Ballyglunin Railway Restoration Project. Michael Finn is the chairman of the group indeed, and I'm joined by Marie Heenan, who's the PRO. Marie, good morning to you.
Good morning, Keith.
Thanks for joining us. Now, it's one of my favourite properties, I have to say, Ballyglunin Railway Project. It's steeped in history, but you're after getting your right puck in the stomach in the last couple of days. So you applied for funding to Galway Rural Development Company.
Yeah, we applied for funding to Galway Rural Development Company. In fact, our first application for 200,000 would have gone in as far back as February 2013. But due to a lot of incorrect information and what you'd call almost abysmal communication, mistakes and anomalies, I can't think of enough words to say this flagship project, which has huge potential for tourism and economic development in the area, is being derailed. And as a community, we are extremely frustrated by the fact that it might be derailed and that we could lose this 200,000, even though we have made every effort and we have the most fantastic sense of volunteerism and community spirit you could find anywhere.
Do you believe that you can get this back on, pardon the pun, but back on track again? Well,
we're hoping that we will, but it has been deferred so many times, and we now are we're almost positive that it could be derailed. It's on the list for it's deferred, in other words.
Okay, Michael Finn, good morning to you.
Morning, Keith.
Now, you're a man of few words, so and I've never seen you as frustrated as you are. Will you tell me a little bit, how long is this going on?
It's almost 10 years now.
Okay, and the Ballyglunin Railway building, that is on licence to you from the government?
From CIE, yeah.
From CIE?
CIE, which is government owned.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't understand that why we want to do up the building and use it for our own use. We're actually asking the government for money for doing up their own building, and I cannot understand what the amount of red tape and it's pure frustration. We're 2 years now trying to get a grant, and it looks like we've missed the boat.
So you're telling me that there's a government asset that they have, that you as a community are willing to put your shoulder to the wheel and do it up. You've asked the government for money to do up one of their own buildings, and you feel that you're not going to get that money now?
Well, Keith, it's like this now. We're 10 years at it. We have 2 of their buildings brought back from dereliction. And now we're trying to take on what was originally the station and the dwelling house. And we want to do the same thing with that, because there are hundreds of people visiting that every year. It's known as the Quiet Man Station, and we want to know why we can't draw a bit of tourism around our own area and not be ashamed of a building that's practically fallen down.
But Keith, can I come in for a minute, because I think it's very important to point out that back last August, when our project was deferred first, we were given 3 reasons for its deferral. One, that we didn't have planning permission. We were given 3 reasons by Galway Rural Development Company, or what people normally call LEADER. The 3 reasons were that we didn't have planning permission. In fact, planning permission came in on the 12th of August, full planning permission, the day of the board meeting. We were told about the CIE licence. We needed a CIE licence. We had a CIE. They wanted a legal lease, and CIE said they would give us the legal lease. So we had a commitment from CIE to give us a legal lease, and they wouldn't accept that. We had a licence going back for 10 years before that, and they said they wanted clarity on finance, and we have asked numerous times for that clarity on finance, and we haven't been given it. We were given wrong information by them. That's why we were told by them that we could use the CIE station as matching funds. We were asked to have it valued, and we had it valued by an Oaken auctioneer, and the value was 52,000. So we were now working on the fact that we had 52,000 of matching funds, until we found out ourselves that money could not be used, and we had to tell Galway Rural Development that 52,000 couldn't be used. In other words, we'd have lost 52,000 in matching funds. We told them about their mistake. And yet, they come back to us and they won't accept the facts. The other thing we were told was that we could go and use local contractors. We got that we could divide the project up into 6 pieces. And we got a local engineer who volunteered his own time to put the tenders, put the whole lot together. And we sent it out to 20 contractors to be told on the 31st of July that it would be prudent of us to go for e-tenders. And our application due in on the 12th of August, for the board meeting on the 12th of August, we were only discovered about the 52,000. 3 days we discovered ourselves, 3 days before the actual board meeting. So that's why it was deferred. So we have been seriously wronged. They have made mistakes. They've been incorrect. I told you we had 3 at the beginning. We met them on the 19th of December and we came out from that meeting happy that now everything was sorted for February. 1 week later, it might be a week later, the 7th of January, we got a list of 22 comments and questions from Galway Bay. Or not Galway Bay, Galway Rural Development Company. 22. We started off with 3 and we ended up with 22.
Blame me for everything, Marie.
No,
just
join
the rest of the country today.
We are so frustrated as a community, as I'm confusing.
I would never have known that you were frustrated. You're just very cross about the whole thing.
I am so annoyed about it because I think it is. I can't understand what management were doing while all of this was going on. And as a community, we have met we've met the CAO, we've met the chairman, and we've met one development officer on 3 separate occasions as private volunteers, and we spent 3 hours with them on 3 separate occasions to have this sorted. And we now know it's still deferred. And it's not our mistake.
Okay, so is it gone altogether now?
Well, unless it can be saved, or unless some major... before, when we went in to see them in August, they had no funding. In the meantime, they got 300,000 worth of funding. But they tell us that their budget was cut by 3.4 million. Their budget wasn't cut by 3.4 million. Their budget was... the money was taken back because it wasn't spent. That's the way Leader operates. That's the way it operates. So in other words, Galway's money was spent in Limerick or Clare or somewhere else.
How much money are you looking for?
We're looking for 200,000, and that has to go to the department for approval.
But correct me if I'm wrong, if they only got 300,000, how can they give you? Can they give you 200 out of this?
Well, you see, they say that they have projects that are prioritised. Now, because of the incorrect information they gave us, ours was actually analysed based on their incorrect information, so it was deferred. Now I believe that, and we believe as a community, that our project should be really revised in the light of the other projects that they had as well, and that could bring ours to the top and give us our 200,000. It is absolutely disgraceful, and this is supposed to be bottom up, and they're supposed to be partners of us. They're partnering us for the last 9 years. They took us through, they gave us 10,000 for a conservation report. They gave us 2,700 for a feasibility. We were the first community in the County Galway to have an RSS scheme. And yet, they take us along, they mentor us, they partner us, which is their ethos, that's what they're there for. And when it comes to the final straw, if we were in their vision or we were in their business plan, sure, the next thing they should do is give us money to complete the job. It's absolutely.
So if you were to ask,
we're going to highlight it we're taking it to the Ombudsman and to Europe and wherever it has to go.
So if you had one question to ask of the powers that be, what would you ask them?
I would ask them what were management asked to let all these mistakes and incorrect information after they've been 20 years in the business. Let all this happen. And they actively discouraged us from allowing it to go to the department for the 200,000, because it has to go to the department to be sanctioned for 200,000. They said there were backlogs and they gave us a whole lot of excuses, but we're not interested in the excuses. What we're concerned about is that the project is derailed, and it's derailed because of their mistakes, not ours.
Michael Finn, final word to you then. I mean, you spoke. Have you spoken to the chairman of?
I have, yeah, and got little or no satisfaction, really. I can't understand why. Do people really know the amount of time and effort voluntary communities has to put in to get a thing like this to get up and go, and then discover that you're going down the wrong road? It's like telling a person to run a mile and say, sorry, I meant you to run 2 miles. It's not on. what happened? What's wrong with us now at the moment is people come along and say, "Are you ever going to do anything with the station?" We're meeting this one and that one and doing our level best to get funding, and it's not forthcoming.
But it looks like as if you're doing nothing, whereas I can sense from you, Michael, and I know you for 25 years at this stage, I can sense the frustration. If you're not careful, you'll give yourself a heart attack. You know that. I mean, you'll be no good to anybody, but you are highly, highly charged and upset over this.
Of course I am, because I promised a fella 3 years ago. I said, when you come in 2014, I said, we'll sit down below the station and we'll have a good chat. I said, because it'll be all done up, and here comes along, it's worse than ever. Yeah. And the next thing that's going to happen is it's going to be down on the ground and it's going to be derelict. When we took over this first, and this is pure, simple truth, I asked one of the CIE members, I said, what will happen if the computer doesn't take it over? He said, there'll be an 8x4 sheet of ply put in each window, he said, and it'll fall in its own time. And it's the more, if anyone that knows anything about the structure of a building, to see the amount of keystones and decorations that's done to every stone that's in it, it's pure architecture. And it's like, this is what they wanted to fall. And we're trying to keep it up.
And it is a flagship project. It's a gem in the area. You know, there are so many people that are interested in the Quiet Man and have left from there as immigrants, going off to America or going wherever. That's where what used to call them, the American Wakes used to take place nearly. It is steeped in history and it has huge tourism potential. Okay. And to think that we've been frustrated to this degree is unacceptable. Unacceptable.
Okay, well, we'll put a call out today to the various bodies that we know about. We will come back to it, but I can sense indeed your frustration. But thank you indeed for joining us. And that's Michael Finn joining us there, Chairman of the Ballyglunin Railway Station Restoration Project, and Marie Heenan, PRO. Your thoughts and comments, please, to the comment line on 53995 or call us on 09177 0077.
It's got Galway talking.
Galway Talks.
Only on Galway Bay FM.